welcome back to the third quarter of the Bobby003 Show. We do it in 4 quarters, and my sidekick here is Andrew Guitros.
Good morning.
And we'd like to get a couple of our good, dependable, steady sponsors.
I can do it. JB Sandals. Let me tell you all, the weather's beautiful. So the grass knows it, and you know what your grass is doing? It's growing. So you got to get out in that yard. You got to clean it up. You know, my fence line every year, man, I clean it all the way back. It looks perfect and clean. And come after winter, I mean, it's got the poison ivy sprouted, and some little saplings jump up. Go by JB Sandals. Get all the stuff you need to keep your yard clean, from the rakes and your yard gloves, your water hoses, your nozzles, your wheelbarrows.
Ant poison.
Ant poison, absolutely, very important.
Right now, they're making their presence shown.
Oh, that's right. And you can also, you know, still at the last minute for crawfish boiling, you can get your boiling pots, you can get your barbecue pits, you can get all the good stuff to have fun, not just the work outside in the summer, but the fun
smokies.
stuff. That's right.
Last forever.
And inside, you get picture frames and all the good stuff, home decorating ideas. You can get plates and china and crystal and
good gift
flatware.
ideas for weddings.
And they'll gift wrap it all. And I think in town still, if you have to get something delivered in town, they'll take care of that for you. They've only been open 135 years. They kind of fly by night is what I say. 135 years. I don't know. Is that long enough? I think it's long enough. They are good.
So.
Good
One
people.
of the oldest businesses still in operation with the same family.
Good morning, Neil Sandals, our good friend. And one more sponsor. Let's go with, how about LHC Group? LHC Group Home Health Care, all about helping people. They can help you with hospice care. You and I talked earlier today about Gene LaBe. We were looking at some of his pictures, and just good friend of ours who went through, you know, one of those rough illnesses at the end of life. But LHC Group was there to help with palliative type care and hospice care, where they came into the hospital those last so many hours, because hospice care is not just at home. It can be in the hospital.
No,
you know, either way.
I remember calling the hospice, you know, Opelousas office, and asked for a representative to meet with me, and they sent a registered nurse.
Absolutely.
Sat me down and went through what she had observed. And I'll never forget, I asked her, I says, well, you think we've got, what, a couple of more weeks left of life? And she says, maybe a couple of days. I said, really? I said, I needed to go to Lafayette to a function. Do I have time to go and come back? She says, yes, if you go and come right back 3 or 4 hours, that I'm sure that'll be okay. Right. So I said, how did you determine that? She said, feel his feet. They were ice cold.
The circulation.
There was no more circulation. The heart was just giving way. And David and I went to Lafayette. When we came back, David Link I'm talking about, I said, David, would you stay here a minute? I'm going to go get my pajamas. I'm going to sleep here in the room with Gene tonight. And about 3:15, I heard a little movement, and I put my hand on his, and just all of a sudden,
you just
quit hearing everything. Then it scared me. I realized he had died. I was holding his hand like that. And I went out into the hall, and just happened there were 2 male nurses that were on duty. So I called them over. One of them came over, and he checked him. He said, you're right, Mr. Dupré, he's passed. And that's when I learned how these people are trained to comfort you.
It's not just the patient, it's the family, supporting the family.
Suppose that she had not let me know that it was, she could have easily said, well, you got 2 weeks. She could have said that she wasn't experienced, but she was experienced and knew that, and she knew, and she started out by saying, I understand that you're very close to Gene. Right. So what I'm gonna tell you, you know, be prepared. And I started crying. She says, I understand you cried too. I'm going to cry right now talking about it. But it's wonderful. Use their services whenever you possibly can. Absolutely. And if you're living in another city or something, they may have hospice care, but there's hospice care today all over the world.
Absolutely, and don't forget about the LHC Group for other needs as well. If you need a therapist, perhaps your girlfriend had foot surgery and needs one of those little scooters to kind of help her get around the house, they provide those type of things as well. All that type of rehab type work and equipment you may need at Louisiana Healthcare Group. And how about am I sneak another one in? No, I'm going to hold the last two to the next quarter.
Okay, all right.
How about some pictures?
Let's get some pictures.
We got a bunch.
We were at
Good at
Sycamore
Sycamore
Point.
Point.
This is the sign
For the state park.
For the state park here, and they have a beautiful, about 3 to 4 beautiful buildings that house duplex apartments.
And this is the Intercoastal Canal.
Intercoastal Canal. It's very seldom that you don't see at least one tugboat, ocean going or intercoastal going. And now we're back on Highway 90, coming back into Lafayette. This is Courtesy Chevrolet, and of course, Courtesy Chevrolet is owned by Opelousas Don Hogruder.
There you go.
And family.
And here's the party, the annual Family Day for Imperial Fire and Casualty there in Opelousas.
And ABC Insurance.
And ABC Insurance.
Yes, sir. They have about 75% of the attendees.
And that's what Cindy Nazat, I
Yes,
guess her
sir.
mother that's there with her, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, and of course our own Keith Nazat works here at Delta Media. If you need advertising for the Bobby003 Show, call and ask for Keith Nazat.
That is correct.
That's the guy. But there we go. We got Melanie.
Faye and Faye.
And Faye, that's right. Both working. Look like they're cutting some potatoes, I guess.
Yes, and they're making curly cues. It's a little
kidding.
machine. I had never seen a little machine like that, but they were busy. Everybody was busy taking
food.
care. And this is Greg.
Greg Thibodeau,
who is married to one
Nancy
of the...
Thibodeau works at Imperial, but he runs St. Charles College for the Jesuits over in Grand Coteau. He's kind of the office manager, I guess you could say. And there's Nancy right there. Right, the former Miss Briscoe from Church Point. Now,
Her sister works here, Beth.
That's not her sister. Her sister is Jenny, who works at Dupree Carrier.
Well, no, you see, I had that.
That's the way it goes.
Okay, I got it mixed
now
up.
we got
all
it.
right.
And we got Blue Bunal, who's over there barbecuing some chicken, looks like.
Yep, and a lot of pork and everything else.
Everything.
Yes. And that's Miss Terry. Miss
Terry
Rhodes.
Shreveport.
Heads up the Shreveport office.
Correct.
For Imperial.
And they're boiling corn, and then they're boiling potatoes, and they're boiling
Mitch
crawfish.
and Kim Olivier have the contract to furnish the catered crawfish ball. And actually, he must have been busy. The Dwayne Smith group from Lawtell came in and
they do a lot of work together.
They work together. That's
right.
correct.
There's
And
Bobby
here I am
eating his
eating
crawfish.
some delicious crawfish.
And there they go.
And there's Joan and Vicky, and they're taking a picture of themselves. You think that's one of those? Is that what they're doing? They're cutting up.
I think so. A selfie, they say.
And then these are the Jansons. This is Noelle on the left, her dad Mick, and her mama Susan.
There you go.
And Mick, of course, has roots over in Alexandria and, of course, of Orleans Parish. The Jansons, that's where they're from.
Right.
And now live in the New Orleans area.
And there's Noelle Bunal, Bobby Dupree, J.E. Brignac, and Blue Bunal.
Bunal.
I'll get 'em
Vicky
all.
took that picture of us, and I made one for them. Each one of them.
You and J.E., y'all are talking something serious.
We're talking about the fairgrounds suit.
That's a tough thing.
That is pending before the legislature.
Everybody cutting up underneath the big top.
And I mean, this
Mr.
was
Jasson.
that's Mr. Jasson again, and Blue, and his girlfriend, Miss Joan, and of course, a fiance, I might add. And
there's the
Blue
he runs ABC.
does a lot. He runs the ABC agency.
And this is their to handle claims. Is one of their little vehicles that runs around and takes care of your claims. You get in an accident in New Orleans, they send that car right to you. Take care of your problem.
Yep.
Cut the check, hopefully on the spot.
That's correct. And that is Saturday night over at Evangeline Downs. And that's Mike and Babs and Jim Lopez, the Lopezes. And that's Jim, and that's Joe Rink, Mr. Joe Rink, I call him.
Helps run the syndicate that
and
you'll have
that's
of
Miss
owners of
Mary and her
horses.
husband, and I can't think of it. And then the next one will be Mr. Fenton Crosby and his fiance, Sam. Y'all see the Sam in the ads for FM Bank?
That's right.
Fred Mills. Well, let me show you. I am taking Fred.
Well, I'm going to get there, too.
We're going to get there in a minute.
But, the place was packed. The racing season is on.
And this is Joan's daughter, Journey, and her husband, Harry, and they left the little 3-month-old baby with his folks.
There you go.
And they're out enjoying the first time since the baby was born.
Now, who's the guy on the left?
The guy on the left is Johnny Kidder from Orneville, Louisiana, lived all of his adult life and worked for Whitney Bank in New Orleans area. And Mr. Joe is on the right, and that's Blue. And those three know all their friends know each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
In fact, Blue, well, he's Noel, but we call him Blue. Blue and Mr. Joe actually worked together selling bulbs and other.
Really?
Yes, sir. When they were younger, Blue says that Joe taught him a lot about selling. Mr. Joe had gone to a sales seminar school, and he was showing Blue how
What to do.
some of those things, and some of it was you selling toilet cleaners and how to rub them and get work, and that's the Tates right here. That's
Red Tate
on the left. That's
and Tommy Tate
Tommy
all the way
Tate
on the right,
and his wife in the middle.
Football star, very big time at McNeese is a football star, Woodbury High.
Yeah, and spent, I guess, 30 years coaching at.
Absolutely.
And this is, I believe, Jeff Bro.
There you go.
And from, I think, maybe the Maurice area. I took that picture, he and his brother, last year. And Miss Chris is way in the back. She is the bartenderess over in the...
Now you're doing like Fred Mills here. There's the picture.
All you need is the loan phone.
That's right.
Get it back to the loan phone. And there's Sam backing me up.
There you go.
You see, Fred.
Just like she does with Fred.
You see, she can do ads with others besides you.
She got talent.
But she loves her job with Mr. Fred.
And then here's a little fountain that they're putting in over the Immaculate Conception Church in Washington.
And that is being provided by the Jesse Howard family.
Oh, excellent.
And Howard Pools. And this is the Jewish cemetery, Hebrew Rest. And this
over
is
in Washington, the Rosenberg family. You've got the Levi family, and you've got the let's see, Plonskys.
The Plonsky,
yes.
from Mr.
Pucci Plonsky. I'll get it out.
That's some of his relatives.
And the Wolf family and the Klaus family, and you can see a bunch of the different graves there. Large Jewish contingent there, and of course there's a large group buried in Opelousas as well, next to the Cerebral Palsy Clinic.
That right next to the clinic.
Correct.
And
Steel Magnolias in Washington, antique store.
A little building that yours truly owns. I own that one, and good renters for, I guess, the last 5 to 8 years, at least, maybe 10. Been a while.
Plantation Antiques right across the street.
And that was the Klaus family home on the second floor.
All right.
And their store, general merchandise store, at the bottom.
There you go.
And then the Leon Wolf store, he handled wagons and probably would sell mules and everything else.
A lot of people know it as Village Boutique for years, and of course now it's the Wolf Building for
receptions. And got his name on the building.
And then you're at the Steamboat Restaurant in Washington. Get mom away from the smell of her own cooking. Go out on beautiful historic Bayou Catawba. Try all the great food with Jason Hugay, chef, owner. We had some crawfish etouffee he cooked today. It was out of this world.
He was the assistant. He was the assistant.
He was the sous chef.
Craig Olivier was here promoting in this. Not the former.
Right.
Craig is a member of the Breaux Bridge Crawfish Festival.
Right.
And he was here promoting it, which takes place beginning Friday, May the 2nd, Saturday and Sunday. It's a 3-day event. And Craig won this event, the cooking event there, a couple of different times. And he is the owner of Olivier's Custom Rods on 1208
As in hot
Surrey
rods?
Street.
That's hot rods?
No, fishing rods.
Fishing rods.
Fishing rods. Fishing rods.
We're going to have to take a break. 1 minute. We're going to come back in 1 minute, show the rest of the photos, and have a good time.